What's up, everybody? We back up in here. Hella Flagrant, the podcast. It's your main man, Hella Flagrant DM. I got my brother, Sean B. Flagrant. Sean B., how you feeling, brother?
Oh man, you know I'm always good, man. Just loving sports right now. I mean, the NBA is back, obviously. Baseball is back, even though I don't watch it that much. But
You
yeah,
gotta
man, let's
watch
talk
it. You
about
gotta
this
watch your
news,
A's, man. Your A's are in first place in the AL West.
They are. They're doing really well. I mean, the Giants not so much, but I mean that was to be
Yeah.
expected. So I mean, other than that, man, it's good, man. At least we got sports back. Football's coming up, so here we
Yeah,
go.
for sure. So, yeah, speaking of football, the National Flagrant League, as we like to call it, because
For sure.
there are so many flagrants in the NFL.
That's
Always
right.
some interesting stories coming out. And, of course, this week, no stranger to crazy NFL news, starting off the Washington football team.
Still crazy
Geis.
just saying that, man.
I know,
Washington
right? Like,
football team.
they don't even have a name. The Washington football team running back Darius Geis arrested for domestic violence.
Yeah.
And I read the whole story, but the thing that popped out at me said when I first read it was like charges included strangulation.
Yeah. I saw that strangulation. I mean, that's. I mean, I'm not laughing at the actual act of it, but just the word strangulation.
Strangulation, yeah, like it's like whoa, bro. Like that
Yeah.
would make you stop and want to read anything. Like, hey, hold
Yeah,
on.
that's extremely serious. I mean, the whole situation is ridiculous. Darius Geis was drafted a few years ago with the second round pick. I forgot what school he came out of, but he was a beast. I think Memphis, I'm going to say, but don't quote me on that because I don't know. But he was a beast in college, and when he came out to the Washington football team, I guess, Washington Redskins at the time, he was looking to, be their new featured running back, but unfortunately he tore his ACL, so he wasn't able to play. And then, last year he still staying out with the few knee injuries and stuff like that. So he hasn't really found himself. I think he only played like 3 games this year. But either way, he's not on the team anymore. So
yeah, Washington cut him immediately, yeah. So I, reading more into it, the incidents happened one in February, one in April, and one in May. So this is not just one incident.
Right.
These are 3 different incidents that happened that took place at his house. And so, obviously the team couldn't waste any time. The NFL really has a zero tolerance policy now when it comes to these sort of situations. We look back in history at, Reuben Foster and Alden. I didn't want to admit they're both 49ers, but Reuben Foster, Alden Smith. You look at some of these other cases, and the league just can't afford to, waste time when it comes to domestic violence situations. And so, the team acted immediately and went ahead and cut him. So does this charge automatically put Geis on the exempt list?
Right now, yeah, I believe that he will be put on the exempt list. I mean, I don't think another team can actually, pick him up right away. They're going to have to go into the situation, find out exactly what's going on with his situation, what, the result of this case brings, I guess. And then after that, the league will send out the punishment. And then after that, any team will pick him up if they, choose to do. The funny thing I have about it is, I mean, okay, Washington can act really swift on Darius Geis, but yet and still they went and picked up Reuben Foster last year. I don't really know if he's still on the team as of right now, but he was picked up last year when he had the exact same situation happen. And then we just talked about this not too long ago. Your owner, your previous coach was involved in a scandal that involved 15 women, and yet and still nobody has been fired from
At
there.
all.
But yet and still you can let go of a player immediately once you hear something that comes with
And not saying he shouldn't be let go.
misconduct.
He should be. But the two have to go together. Like, he should be let go, and y'all can't just sweep this other story under the rug and act like we're just supposed to forget about, was it 14 or 15 women coming
15,
forward?
exactly.
15 women coming forward? Like, come on. Like, so I definitely get what you're saying on that because, I mean, this had to be handled, but again, Washington football team that doesn't have a name because your name was racist.
Right.
Now, you got a myriad of problems that y'all need to handle prior to the first weekend in September.
Yeah, exactly.
Other football news, a story that was kind of brought up but wasn't really talked about too much by a lot of outlets. New York Giants cornerback DeAndre Booker and Seattle Seahawks cornerback Quentin Dunbar were involved in a robbery in Miramar, Florida. Apparently, Baker and Dunbar had went to a party in May, and at that party, DeAndre Baker lost close to $70,000 gambling. The next day, they went to a cookout, and at the cookout, DeAndre Baker decided that he was going to get his money back by robbing people that were at the cookout for cash and jewels. And he allegedly forced Quentin Dunbar to help him, is how this story goes. Because now, and the reason why this is back out is because DeAndre Baker is facing life, and Quentin Dunbar was let off with no charges in the case.
Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, this story is outrageous. I don't know if any of you guys have heard or read up on this. It's a situation, like you said, back in May. Um, so many issues with this story.
Yeah,
I
a
mean,
lot of
first,
layers here.
right. First, let's talk about the fact that you probably shouldn't have been at a party during coronavirus and stuff like that, because that was back when it was for real shelter in
Okay, yeah,
place.
that's first on the list.
That's first on this. Second of all, 70 grand to any party doesn't really make a lot of sense. Like if it's a supposed house party, why do you have 70 grand? It's not like you can put that in your pocket.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? You were
right.
expecting to gamble that much. So if that's the case, you can't expect not to lose it.
Now, granted, I mean the man was in year two of a what the 4 or 5 year $10 million deal that had a $5 million signing bonus in it. So hey, 70 grand,
Yeah, no
whatever.
big deal.
If you
But I
feel
mean,
like that, but still, really, like,
right.
come on.
Most people take that to gamble in Vegas or wherever, Atlantic City, wherever you might like to go. But I mean,
Right?
a cookout probably doesn't make a lot of sense. You know what I'm
Nah,
saying? But
nah.
hey, I mean, I'm not in that bracket, so maybe I don't know what
Right,
that entails.
then once you lost it, because I don't know what makes you think that because you're an NFL star that you're also a robbery expert, but somehow this turned into like a Fast and the Furious movie real quick, and all of a sudden you're a mercenary robbing people for jewels, and what are you doing here? What are you
Right.
doing here?
Exactly. So obviously that 70 grand meant something to you because you decided that you needed to go get it back somehow.
Right.
And now you became, like you said, a robber, which, I mean, you weren't very much of a football player to begin with. So maybe work more on that than doing a robbery. I don't know. The whole story doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Um,
It really doesn't. And I mean, in the robbery, you only got, I think it said like $11,000 in cash and like maybe $30,000 in jewelry. So you didn't even get close to the 70 lost back when you committed this robbery. And now you're facing multiple charges, which in Florida, mandatory minimums on some of those charges are 10 years. And so
uh,
if you even one of those, if you get found guilty of one of them, mandatory minimum is 10. All
right.
four, mandatory minimum is 40 up to life in prison over a gambling situation. Like it's a lot. It's a lot.
Right. And then you also now what was the other man's name that I forgot? Who was
Quentin
with you?
Dunbar.
Quentin Dunbar, who now faces nothing, doesn't really sit well with me either. I mean, I don't understand how you can go and, go to a party with your friend, everything goes wrong, he loses 70 grand. Usually what happens if somebody loses money, they usually try to talk about it on the way back home, like, dang, I lost this money. Dang, I shouldn't have spent this. Dang, damn, whatever you want to say, like, I should not have done this. And then the next day you come back to another party with that same dude. Like, first of all, if it was me, I would be like, you know what? I'm gonna sit this one at home.
Right. Like I
Like,
just lost 70. I don't think I'm going to anybody's party. Like,
no, exactly. And I even if it was the friend, like, just why would you guys be going back together? Like, if you knew this dude lost 70 grand
right.
that day or the day before, why would you go back with him thinking that either A, he could make it back, or B, he's gonna be miserable because he didn't have that? Like,
Right.
it doesn't. I can't
Yeah,
see how
no.
one can get these charges and the other one has no blame at all for this because even if you didn't have a gun, even if you didn't rob anybody, even if you did, you willingly knew that this man lost 70 grand the day before.
It wasn't probably in his best state of mind. Like he
Exactly.
probably shouldn't have been there.
Exactly what
Like
I was gonna say.
if you
Exactly
lost
what.
70 grand, I know where I'm taking you. It's on Broadway. We don't have to say the name, but that's where we're going. We're not going back to the same place we just lost the money.
All right. Exactly. Exactly the point.
You
Like,
know what I
yeah.
mean? Like,
Like
not
go
going
do
back.
something happy, man. Go do something happy. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like whatever it
Exactly.
is, just don't go back to the place where you remember that you lost all that money or a kind of place like that. Go somewhere that makes you happy, that gets you back in a state of mind. I don't care what it is. Just don't do that.
Yeah. So, we'll definitely follow up on this one. This is a story we're going to earmark and come back because I want to know if he ends up having to get life or what kind of sentence he ends up getting for all of this because it was reckless. It didn't make any sense, and you really you can't just because you have money act like you can go around and just do whatever you want to and hold people at gunpoint and just think you're going to get away with it. It's not going to happen. So we're going to earmark that, come back to that story and check that out. Switching over to the Major League Baseball Association. As we talked about, baseball is back
Yep.
and playing. But a story just came out. I don't know if you guys remember Los Angeles Angels pitcher Tyler Skaggs that passed away in 2019 of what was believed to be a drug overdose at the time. Well, the Angels organization has identified one employee that is now a former employee. They have now fired this person, and they're also under investigation. But they have identified that this person supplied Tyler Skaggs with fentanyl in the form of oxycodone. And so the Angels are investigating this even more, but they have fired this employee. We're not sure how much more is going to come out about this story, but they're sure that this person may have also distributed oxycodone to other members of the Angels organizations. It didn't say whether they were players or staff members, but it just said that they were sure that this person and other people knew about the fentanyl via oxycodone.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the story is new, and so we don't have that much information on it. But at the same time, this is the result of things like this. Not obviously wasn't the same situation with Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, all the situations in baseball before, previous to that with the steroid era. Um, Obviously, a lot of these guys got it from or got a hold of this because of ex-players or doctors, people that are giving them these different things, and they're not prescribed and they're not right for for the usage. But I don't know. I mean, this led to somebody's death. And if this guy has been distributing this, throughout the locker room to different players and stuff like that, I mean, not only is he going to be in some serious trouble, I mean, you have somebody's life on your hand. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I mean, it can't be just the firing. Obviously, you know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
it's going to be serious jail time because I mean, let's be honest, you're a murderer now. I mean, because even though he might have been willing to take all this stuff and he's the one that maybe asked for it, you had the right to not give it to him. And you know what I'm saying? The person's got to be more mindful of that. You got to save people from themselves, regardless if they need it for whatever reasons. If it's not prescribed by an actual doctor, I mean, that's
Right.
not right. So that's serious. That's a very serious situation.
Yeah. And it also begs to ask the question, hey, if other people knew that this was going on, at what point do you start to hold people accountable? Like can you hold a whole group of people accountable and start to fire a whole group of people because again, like you said, it led to someone's death, and instead of sitting back and kind of watching this man die, essentially, nobody spoke up for him. Nobody said, hey, he might have a problem. We might want to get him some help. We know who's supplying. Nothing. Nobody said anything.
Right.
Or I don't know that, to be honest. I don't know if anybody said anything, but as far as the documents that have come forward so far show no one was, coming forward trying to help this man. So, that's
Right.
the sad part about it to me, is that nobody really looked at the situation as serious as they should have, and tried to help Tyler Skaggs before it got too late. So again, we'll see, if more information comes out about this Angels employee, or about, who else on the team may have been taking the drug. We'll see what happens with this investigation. But sad story nonetheless, but we definitely have to go ahead and bring that to y'all.
Yeah.
All right, getting out of baseball, switching over to the NBA and the bubble ball that we are playing in the National Basketball Association. Sean B, us, basketball has been our thing for a long time.
Yes, sir.
This is definitely something new, this whole look and feel of the NBA bubble. Let's talk about it. Let me get your take on how the bubble is affecting fans, players, the games, refs. Like, let's talk about, you've seen close to 2 weeks worth of games now. Like, what are you seeing?
Well, the action is good. I think a lot of the players are playing hard. A lot of threes, a lot of, I guess I would say not a lot of, but
No,
less,
a lot threes.
A lot of threes, but no defense. Let's
None.
say that. There's no defense being played in the bubble at all. LeBron doesn't look very great. The Lakers as a whole don't look very great, other than Anthony Davis. They're going to have some issues. We'll say that.
Is that okay? So, and obviously we know, obviously Rondo's not there. But other than that, are the Lakers missing any other key pieces, or is this the team that they were going to go to a regular playoffs with anyway, for the most part?
Well, I think obviously with the advantage of having home court and different things like that, yeah, I do believe that this was going to be the same team that they would have to go with. But I think that things change. Once now you're on an even playing field with everybody, there's no home court advantage. There's no, different elements in a typical game, and everybody has the same kind of criteria, I guess you could say.
Right.
I don't feel that the Lakers, will have enough. I mean, losing Avery Bradley and losing Rajon Rondo is bigger than I originally suspected, only because the fact is LeBron now has to play point guard, small forward, scorer, everything under the sun, other than what Anthony Davis has to do. And, for him, yeah, he's been able to do it during the year, but you've also had guys that can dribble the ball, as in Rondo and Avery Bradley, that could take a little bit of pressure off him. Now he doesn't have that.
Right.
I mean, we talked about how terrible Dion Waiters looks. We've talked about how terrible J.R. Smith looks. You know what I'm saying? Quinn Cook, my God. Like, I'm sorry, brother. Like, I love you when you play for the Warriors, but my God.
Quinn, and that's the thing. Like, I thought Quinn was gonna get better, man. Like, I was like, okay, two-way player. He's here. He's gonna show up and fill in some slots, and then I was like, okay, he's gonna get better. He's gonna get on the Lakers and get an opportunity to really show that he can't really play this position that well.
No, he is getting torched.
Oh, right.
He is getting torched in Summer League. So, I mean, that's an issue. The Rockets look good. Portland looks really good. But, in terms of the visual look of it, it's growing on me.
You just slipped up. Because you just said Quinn Cook is getting torched in Summer League. So clearly the visual look looks like Summer League to you right there. You told us exactly how you feel.
Yeah, it does have a Summer League-ish look to it. Some games and some visuals are better depending on where they play. Obviously, the arena court is the best one, and that looks a little bit better. I like what they tried to do with the whole fan visuals in the background and having people log on and being able to support, which I think is fun. I mean, it's fun to see that, but at the same time, it's still not great. It doesn't keep your attention forever. If you're not really a big sports fan or a big basketball fan, it might, give you time to look away and do other things. But I mean, all in all, maybe it'll be better once the playoffs actually start. But for right now, the look is a little, like I said, Summer League-ish. But
yeah, I would definitely have to agree that it's Summer League, World Basketball, FIBA-ish a little bit. And it's it's for me, it's just making me wonder if the players are taking it seriously. Like, are we getting
Yeah.
80% Kawhi? Are we getting 65% Paul George? Because to them, it feels similar. And
Right.
mentally, the preparation, the other thing, I ask you about all the time, the times of the games, especially during the week. Like weekends, yeah, players usually play like, during the day, and that's normal. But we watched West Coast, two West Coast teams play at like 3 p.m. Eastern the other day. And it's like, whoa, hold on. They don't get up and play those games that early regularly. So
Right.
mentally, I feel like the preparation may be a little bit off. Your timing is probably a little bit off. Your routine. You got to figure to be this good at a sport, you're a creature of habit. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't get here being sporadic. You got here having habits and doing the same things habitually.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
when your habits and your rituals and your timing starts to be off, I feel like we're not getting 100. Hopefully, as we go into the playoffs, though, maybe players will start to click in a little bit more and we'll get more of 100% out of some guys. But I feel like the environment and the atmosphere of it has some players not really taking it 100% seriously.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. We're filming this right now early, but I mean, there's a Clippers game and Blazers, and it's early as hell.
Right.
I can't see players being able to give their best effort when they're just waking up and having to go play basketball or having to go to the
Right.
court and being ready. I mean, yes, they have done it back in the day when they played the AU basketball. Yes, they have all played at different times of the day, but it's different now. I mean, when you talked about, I mean, you've done this. Some players, I mean, LeBron is in his 17th year. He's always played, whether it be East Coast or West Coast, around 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, regardless, or maybe even 10, depending on the situation, but it's never at 12 a.m. It's never, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
unless it's Christmas or something like that, like a
Right.
special occasion.
Right.
So now for them, being able to, having to do that and play different times, it's probably a little bit harder for them to kind of rev up the system, be energized, and especially considering, like with the Lakers and the Bucks at this point. I mean, they both clinched for first. I mean, how is it that you're now going to expect
Right.
these guys to rev up and be ready when, if they play hard and they can get, conditioned and everything, that's a good thing. It's a plus. But at the same time, I mean, they can't get any higher and they can't go anywhere.
Well,
So
yeah,
what's the
and
point
then
for
you
them
have
to
you
really
have
do it?
you have the Lakers playing like today while we were filming this. The Lakers play Indiana later. Like, how am I supposed to
Yeah,
get up and get excited about that in this
exactly.
situation? You know what I mean? Or having to play like teams like Brooklyn right now. Like, it's hard to get excited about that and give my 100% to a situation like that. So I understand it. So with that being stated, as we talk about the NBA, do these superlative awards, do they mean what they should mean? And let's go through them because they just announced, all the superlatives: MVP, Rookie of the Year,
Right.
Defensive Player. Do they mean the same? And let's talk about them.
So right now, I mean, let's see, and I think all these awards that are coming out it's strictly from the perspective of what happened through the first part of the year,
Yeah, it
not
says
right now.
through March 11th. Voting is
Right.
through March 11th.
So for the MVP race right now, we obviously have Giannis, LeBron, and James Harden.
You know what's sad? I don't even remember what Harden was doing before basketball stopped. I know he was
a
scoring,
leading
but
scorer. Yeah, he was a leading scorer. I mean, that's we know that. I mean, that's almost a given right now
yeah,
for
I
James.
know
So,
that.
so I think I honestly just think it's between Giannis and LeBron. If it's strictly off of before or from March 11th, and before, I would probably lean towards LeBron. I mean, right now I would say no, but I
No,
mean, I it's hard now to actually look at this and to say, because at first I want to say LeBron, but I mean Giannis, for what Giannis has been doing for the team,
right? And you
and
look at that
especially
record.
now, yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, because they said all the voting had been done prior to this, but I don't know. I'm gonna lean Giannis on that one too.
yeah.
For myself. Rookie of the year
So it was John
for
Morant, Kendrick Nunn, and Zion.
yeah. So
Let's see.
again, talking about through March 11th, we didn't have a lot of Zion.
No.
Um, And so I mean, I don't know that his name doesn't belong here, but I also don't know that his name does. I mean, once he got back on the Pelicans, he definitely was an impact. I mean, their record changed dramatically once he made his return to the team. But obviously, John Morant played the whole season. Kendrick
Right.
Nunn played the whole season, and you have a few other rookies that played more of the season that had some good games. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say John Morant. I don't even think it's fair to
Yeah.
have Zion. And let's talk a little bit about Zion real quick. I have to get this out. Look, I think Zion is one of the most exciting players I've seen in a while. Um, but there's been talks about his weight,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to sit here and body shame anybody, so don't think that that's what it's about. But the situation with Zion is that him being in New Orleans with all that great food,
Man, it is. It is. Them
great
beignets.
food. Good God. Oh, like, like if you've never been to New Orleans, please get down there at some
Yeah.
point when all this stuff is over and try the food. It is amazing. But if you're a basketball player down there, you can't eat all of that. That's for
No.
tourists. That's not
Yeah.
if you live there and your career is based off of your body. I'm
Right.
sorry to tell you, get a chef that somehow can put all the spices that they make in the food onto your tofu, whatever.
Yeah.
But do not eat that
vegan.
food. Yeah,
Vegan Cajun, something. They have
yeah,
it. I know it
they do.
exists.
They do. It can taste the same, but it will do wonders for your body. But please, 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 Zion, you probably not listening to this, but if you ever do, let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go
Yeah.
because you do not for he's only 20 years old. He just turned 20 and he's over 300 pounds.
Mm.
Like I know he's explosive. I know, people say, oh, well, he can still dunk on everybody. He's stronger than everybody. I get that. I really understand that. But your body, your knees, all that stuff will not be able to take. I can be big. I can be
Right.
heavy. I don't play. I sit here
Right.
and talk to y'all.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Zion can't do that forever and expect to have a
Nah.
fruitful career in the NBA. It's just not
Nah,
going to happen.
it's just. I mean, you look at so many players that have attempted it, and you cannot be of a certain size and do the kind of things that he likes to do. You can't jump that high that often. Like that
No.
weight coming down on those knees repeatedly is going to wear out those knees. I mean, there's just no way. Like you have to come down. And so yeah, I agree, Zion, bruh. We want to see you in the league for a while. Vegan Cajun something. I don't know. Vegetable. I don't know. Something, bro. You got to do something because we need you. We need you.
And that's the reason why I can't legitimately vote for you for Rookie of the Year because you missed the year.
Well,
Why?
yeah, because of that. Yeah, no, I can't.
Because of
I
leg
can't.
injuries, and that's the whole reason why I'm saying all this. You know what I'm saying? Like it's we want to see you play. We want to because you're explosive and everything like that. And they do play tomorrow at 12, and I'm very excited to see it. But at the same time, I mean, I don't want to just see you play this year and that's it. Like I want to see you play for 15 years. I want to see you, see what LeBron does and all that, extracurricular working out and all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't look great right now, but he made it to year 17. Like that's what
Right.
we want to see for you. But moving on past that, let's see here. They also have
DPOY, Defensive Player of the Year.
DPOY. That's right.
So we got Giannis, AD, and Rudy Gobert.
Yeah. Personally, I'm gonna go with Anthony Davis on this one. I know Giannis does this thing and everything like that, but I personally think that
I'm gonna take the unpopular pick with Rudy Gobert. He actually plays great defense, even though people are mad at him right now.
He does. He won it last year. He is what they call him, the Stifle Tower. He does his job, and I think any one of those players is deserving. To be honest with you, I don't think there could be a wrong on that. I mean, I know Anthony Davis hasn't got it. I don't think Giannis has either. Rudy got it last year, but at the same time, I mean, all three of them played tremendous defense. So,
Yeah.
um, most improved players: Bam Adebayo, Luka Doncic, Brandon Ingram. I'm gonna go with Bam. I think what Bam has done for Miami and becoming their second star is tremendous.
Yeah, I think like I think Luka's a good player, but I think he was already good last year. You know what I mean?
Right, he's
Um,
definitely better, but I can't. His jump wasn't as far
right. Same
as
thing
the
with
rest.
Brandon Ingram. Like Brandon Ingram before this thing shut down was a more consistent shooter.
Yeah.
Um, my only problem with Brandon Ingram is he's a ball hog, so I can't put him on that list. I can't. I'm being honest. And Bam has stepped it up. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'd say Bam for that one. NBA six man, your favorite Montrezl Harrell, uh, Dennis Schroeder or Lou. How does the same team have two six men?
Right.
Like, how does that even work?
Completely against the point. You can't have 6 and 7, man. Is
Seven
that
man,
like?
like what is that?
Yeah. I mean, I honestly, I'm gonna be 100. Even though they are on the same team, I would still go with Dennis Schroeder. Like I think the look. Let's just be honest. The Oklahoma City Thunder, for what they've done this year, needs to
Yeah,
be commended. Like
yeah,
I'm sorry, like, and I'm going to say that because there's also the coach of the year with Billy Donovan, and that's my vote. I thought that team was not going to win any games this year. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I
yeah.
thought they were going to be in last place. The fact that they are in the playoffs and they're in the bubble and they are still winning games,
Yeah,
beyond
and,
that.
and I think it's because of the team concept, and I think Dennis Schroeder on that second team has really helped that. So I can see that. I think Lou Williams is a close second for that NBA six man award, but I could definitely see that. But speaking to your coach of the year, Billy Donovan, I feel like is there, but I feel like Nick Nurse probably is right there for a lot of the same reasons. A lot of
Oh
people felt
yeah,
like Toronto wasn't going to win without Kawhi. They didn't have a chance. And so Toronto with Kyle when he's
yeah,
on and Van Vliet, like they have done some great things this year too.
I
So
agree.
I think Nurse and Donovan are kind of neck and neck. Like Budenholzer, yeah, the Bucks have a great record, but it's kind of like we kind of expected that.
Yeah, it's
Um,
almost the same thing as last year,
yeah.
to be honest with
So
you.
I feel like Billy Donovan came from out of nowhere with his team, and I feel like a lot of people doubted Nick Nurse's ability to win games without Kawhi. So I feel like
I
those
agree.
two are like the top two for Coach of the Year for those reasons. So when is it doesn't say when they're going to announce the winners though. It just says that TNT will announce award winners during its coverage of the season restart. It doesn't have a actual date when they're announcing the winners as of right now. But
No.
as y'all know, Flagrant Foul, Hella Flagrant podcast, this is a topic we'll definitely check back in with y'all on and
Of
find out
course.
who all won and talk about who won and, were we right, were our predictions right. And if we were wrong, y'all can laugh at us and tell us we don't know what we're talking about. But I doubt we are.
Yeah.
So with that, that is it for this week's episode of Hella Flagrant the podcast, man. Always remember, if you guys have topics, stories, interesting sports news that we may have forgotten about and you think that it is appropriate for this show, feel free to send it to us. Text, call, email, DM, whatever. Send us whatever stories you feel like, hey, you guys missed this and we think you may have a take on it. Send it. We'll take it. We love it. We love to hear from y'all. So feel free, communicate with us. We love all the feedback. We definitely do this for y'all. And so make sure that y'all, communicate with us. Let us know what you want to hear more of and what kind of stories you want to hear right here on Hella Flagrant Podcast.
Yeah, and I second that. Obviously, like you just spoke on. I mean, let us know anything that needs to be addressed, talked about, whatever. Tell us if you want to be a guest on the show, and what I'm saying, you have interesting things. Let us know. I mean, we're always eager to have new people and to talk about the situation because we love sports, and that's all this is about. It's a sports show that we direct for you guys. So let us know whatever the situation and whatever things that you guys have to talk about, we're here for you. But, Flagrant Foul, theflagrantfoul.com. Please look us up. It's everywhere. YouTube, Spotify, iTunes. I mean, come find us. We're here, man. It's all for you.
We're here. Brand new merch site coming soon. Be on the lookout for that. So, new merch, new tees, all new gear coming for the fall. So, be on the lookout for that. Hella Flagrant the podcast. We up out. We're going to go enjoy this Saturday afternoon of basketball and whatever else y'all got going on. Y'all enjoy yourselves too. We out.
Peace.